Hello. Ooh, okay. We have an echo happening. What did I do? How's that? Is that? That's not better. Okay. As always, gotta figure out something. Let's see here. I'm sure. How about that? Ooh, that sounds better. But can you hear me at all? Hi everyone. Wouldn't be a Jackson Bird uh, stream without me having some kind of issue. It's because I messed with everything last time when we did our halfway to Halloween and I had to change the audio. But let me know if you can both hear me and if there is no echo and if the captions are working. I have a brand. I sure do. You know, I did not choose this brand. The brand chose me. And I think it started with Willet Waffle when I just was always chaotic and doing things in the kitchen that everyone was like, you should know not to do this. And just, yeah, acting foolish. Video and sound are a bit synced. I mean, my computer's breathing pretty heavily right now, so it could just be something to do with that. Not synced. Yeah, I don't... Oh, I think I can kind of see that. Yeah, I don't know what to do about that, unfortunately. But hi, hello everyone, and Sarah, I hope you stay safe. I hope you keep your power as well, but, yeah, I hope you stay safe. Dora, thanks for saying sounds good. What, are your own captions, because you use like do you use a screen reader? I'm just curious, I'm always curious about like what caption technology is out there, so if you want to share what software or app or anything you use for your captions, I'd be curious. Closed captions not available for this content. They seem to be working on my end, so that's interesting. Let's see if I can... yeah, I'm even doing a little test here, and they seem to be working for me. Door uses a screen reader, but also live captions on phone/laptop. Cool. If anyone else uses the captions that I provide, if you wouldn't mind just letting me know if they're working for, because they look like they're working for me, but they don't seem to be working for Joe, so I want to see if they're not working for other folks. But hi, welcome folks. No, I'm glad you asked, Joe, because you can help for if they're not working. For folks who do need them, I want to know if they're not working. They just look like they are for me, so I'm not positive what to do about that. Anyways, hi, how's everyone doing? Welcome, Sam. Sarah obviously is not doing great with the tornado watch, but hopefully keeping in good spirits. But how's everyone else doing? How's your day been? How's your night going? What are you making for a meal or working on while you're here? I think I'm just gonna go ahead and get started with the little warm-up project. Now that I've done the technical difficulties, I feel like I don't have anything else to talk about. Hi, Deoxyribo. Ooh, made homemade broth today. I have never done that. I would like to. I think about it sometimes, but I've not actually ever done it. Alright, what do I use for this pattern? Is it 829? I feel like it is. I can check this. Ah, thank you, Joe. Thank you for checking for that. I really appreciate it. I am feeling a million times better compared to last week. Hold on, I'm just checking a color code here. Okay, yes. Oh my gosh, yeah, I feel a million times better. You'll hear a little bit tonight. I've still got a bit of a cough, which will linger for a couple of weeks, but like, I feel fine, and that's a huge improvement. So I'm excited about that. Can I just stop? I'm gonna stop that, see if that saves some CPU. Yeah, and it feels good to feel to feel better after being sick for like almost a month. It was like I was traveling I was sick while I was traveling, I was sick in between traveling, and then I was sick when I got back from traveling. So the main theme of my life right now is like catching up on stuff. And I guess I'm still not like 100% back with my energy. I'm maybe like 85% back. So trying to do like extra amounts of things because I am not fully, or I try and do extra amounts of things while I am not like fully back to energy has been a little bit of a challenge, but I am feeling much better. Thank you for asking. Yeah, I hope the lingering cough is gone soon as well, because, you know, especially ever since COVID, folks don't love to hear people with a cough in public. I haven't been contagious for weeks, but like a stranger hearing you cough doesn't know that, so just adjusting a few things. Also, I'm starting to look at like, did I get the right needles out for today? Yes, I did for this stream, because I mean, will be obvious from the title, but going back to Wingspan today, I've completed a few things since I last did Wingspan on stream, so I'll share those, and then we'll do some more Wingspan. But I need a special needle for Wingspan, so I was just double checking that I got it out. Okay. And for people who don't know, if there's anyone new checking out the stream, I'm just gonna put in the chat what I'm doing here. It's a big block of text. This is the warm-up pattern that I do each time. It's just a little loose in the hoop today, which is a little hard to adjust once it's already in the stand, so maybe I'm just gonna put up with it. But yeah, a little warm-up pattern to mark each stream, almost temperature blanket style, and to mark folks who followed and folks who subscribed or resubscribed. We got a whole bunch of resubs last week, which was very fun to add to the shelves of the spools. And after so many weeks of the same temperature, we are still at the same temperature, but was one follow away from moving on to a different temperature color. So that's exciting, and to be expected when I've been gone and inconsistent. Okay, that's also weird that door got thrown into an ad a little bit ago. That shouldn't be happening. I might have to double check on that later. But thanks to folks who have joined in tonight. Did anyone bring any crafts that you're working on? What are you crafting tonight, or might be crafting later after you finish up some work or finish up a dinner? Let me know in the chat what you're all working on. We have a heat wave going here in New England, and I am definitely feeling it. I think in this moment where I've turned a bunch of lights on myself, even though it's presumably getting a little bit cooler out, since it is 6 p.m. now. Let's see, Mikey's having spaghetti, and then sock knitting, nice. Joe finished the caterpillar pattern, started on a duck pattern, all the animals. A veritable menagerie of cross-stitch projects. Mikey, have you ever thought about trying to knit spaghetti? I feel like knitting into a sock would be really complicated, but maybe you could knit something a little bit more basic using spaghetti. What if I came back with a Will It Waffle return, but it was like, will it knit? I can't knit, so I wouldn't do that, but will it knit? I don't know what else I would do besides spaghetti, though. And actually, now that I'm thinking about it, people do a lot of pretty creative things of like things that they turn into yarn, like to use like yarn and knit with it. Yes, please do try knitting with spaghetti in the future, Mikey. Okay, I'm just gonna finish off this bit of the spool. Sam's trying to mend socks again. Oh no, but a light bulb blew. Yeah, definitely need to fix the light situation so you can see the sock holes. Excuse me. All right. Cut this off here. Boop. And get out our very Christmassy 817. Burl's art on YouTube makes guitars out of non-traditional materials like colored pencils, cardboard, melting soda cans. Okay, that's very creative materials to make guitars out of. That's very cool. A pair of socks with little bowls of spaghetti. I mean, yeah, you could knit spaghetti as the imagery of socks, or you could use the spaghetti as the yarn, or both, perhaps. Why is this so long? Okay. The Burl's art, like making guitars out of non-traditional things, reminds me a little bit of, I mean, I think a lot of people were doing this for a while, but Andrew Wong especially was very good. I mean, he's so talented at so many things, but he was doing, like, he would do covers of songs where he'd make the beats from all kinds of random things, like the inside, or like the core of a mango, and like just random household items. I guess that's just kind of like making percussion instruments or not quite existing instruments. I guess he did some like woodwinds too, like blowing into things. So that's not quite the same as actually making a whole guitar, but that's what it reminded me of. Is Kurt Burl's art? Is that the same person? You love Andrew Wong. We all love Andrew Wong. And if you don't love Andrew Wong, it's probably because you don't know him yet. So you should look him up on YouTube mostly. I mean, he does all kinds of music, but I think his main online home is like YouTube and Patreon. And Rob Scallon too. Yeah, Rob's great. I'm trying to remember if Rob has probably made kind of crafted cool guitars out of stuff. He's done so many wild guitar specific things. I can't remember if I ever watched their Sonic Boom videos. I must have watched a couple. Oh, Kurt is a different person on YouTube. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I am so not a musician, so I'm always very impressed by, I mean, anyone who can play music or write music, but especially folks like Andrew and Rob who are so, like, innovative and creative with it. Rob made a guitar out of concrete. See, there you go. That's the kind of thing that I was like, I feel like Rob would have done something wild like that. Out of concrete. I'll have to look that one up because I'm really curious what that sounds like. Wrote a metal song for it. Yes, that also tracks. Although, perhaps it should have been a rock song, since concrete is a little bit more like rock. Yeah, alright, Sarah, we're on the same page here. or like a guitar out of concrete, maybe it should have been a cover of a song by the band Pavement. I really should have, well, first of all, this wasn't even in the shot too well, but I really should have tightened this fabric on the hoop before I did this. It's slightly annoying, but we're just going for it. I really, going back to mending, I'm trying to remember who was mending things. Sam? Yeah, Sam's mending some socks tonight. That's a big one on my like crafty DIY to-do list, is to get better at mending things. And I got one of those little, almost like a little tiny loom, that I watched someone else using, and so I have one of those now, but I like haven't even taken it out of its box to try it yet. Maybe I will practice that and get better at it, and then maybe that'll be something I'll do on stream sometimes, is mending things. Like, you know, the one time I did some wax sealing of my Christmas cards. Okay, I think I'm going to take this. Well, no, I should leave this on. Because I don't need the stand for the other things we're doing. But if I need to work this pattern again tonight, I will appreciate having the stand. Yeah, Sam, I really don't know a ton about this kind of thing at all, but it certainly looked like one of those devices made it a lot easier. So if you were doing it without one, Godspeed. It seems difficult. Perhaps it is not difficult, perhaps it is just extra time consuming. I am not really sure. But best of luck to you. You know what else I could have done tonight, but I did not prepare for it and I don't feel like going to get it, is I've finished a lot of books recently and I could have updated my book tracker. Alas. Okay. So there is the follower spool to represent this past week. Where did all these needles come from? How do I suddenly have two over here? I don't know what's going on. Thank you to everyone who followed in the last week. We got a good number of followers during the stream last week, which I super appreciate. I wish I hadn't been so sick, because I felt like the energy was so good last week. We had lots of folks just kind of like dropping in from who knows where and following and joining the chat. It was very fun. And I was only like half conscious, so I had to go, but I was sad to leave you all. Now I'm back. And I'm still pretty tired. But I am much more lucid. Let's say that. That's the main thing. Is I'm way more lucid this week. Okay, so it does make it a lot easier. Sam's also not very talented in that area. Who knows? Your sister made the socks. That is awesome, but they have holes in them. Oh, I wonder if your sister can help with the holes then, if she made the socks. Like if they're, you know, hand knit socks like that. I'm not so sure about the loom thing that we've been talking about. But again, I really don't know what I'm talking about. So there you go. Okay, let's talk Wingspan stuff. So, I guess we'll do a slight introduction to the whole project for folks who have not seen this project before. If you're joining stream first time or a newer time. Oh, this is where one of my needles has been. Oh, okay. Let me move this. Ooh, okay. Now we're talking. So there's a game called Wingspan. It is a tabletop game about birds. You collect them, sort of, but there's lots of bird cards in it. They're all real birds, and you get little fun facts about the birds as you play the game. Like many tabletop games, it has lots of pieces to it. You've got little eggs for the birds, and food tokens, and food die, like dice. Food dice, that's the plural, dice. And so I decided to make like organizers for all, because they just come with like the plastic ones, and there's all kinds of custom ones you can buy online. People have like 3D printed patterns, or you can like buy the 3D printed versions, or like you go on Etsy, you can buy a whole bunch. I think there's even a whole subreddit of people just talking about their Wingspan containers and how they've modded them. Thank you for the resub, Melby. Says mostly lurking. Oh, watching Game 3 of the PWHL Finals while plucking dandelions for syrup. That sounds like an amazing evening. Oh my gosh. Well, thank you for popping in and for the resub. Who's in the finals? Well, the Game 3. Okay. I guess who are you watching right now? I have not been following at all, but I love that you're plucking dandelions for syrup while you do it. That's so cool. What a good way to spend an evening. Anyway, so Wingspan has lots of parts. People make containers for them because the game just comes with little plastic things. So I have this canvas bag. This is going to be for like all of the eggs. Let's actually zoom out a little bit. And this is a pattern that I bought. Someone called Sirithra, there is their username and their website, designed this, and this is like the bird that's like on the box of Wingspan. And we have learned not to do this on stream because it is very, very small, and because I like didn't take the bag apart, I have to like stitch it in hand, and so it's just very hard for me to see, and the stream ends up being like this, of my head down there and not talking. So I do this in the sunlight by myself, and I have not worked on it for months. So that's the first element of it. And then for the food tokens that you collect, I am making all of these little like bird nests with the token designs on them. So this is something that I did of I just like found some high res like vectors of the food tokens from the game, and I then put it all into Floss Cross, and I've used plastic canvas to make these little bird nests. I'm trying to get the camera to focus on. Do I need to do the like beauty influencer? There you go. You can see the sides of how I've been doing it. And so yeah, I've just been playing around with these, and I made 2 different sizes so that they stack inside of each other. This is grain, this is fish, which I think I finished on stream at some point. And then while I was traveling, I almost finished the cherries. I just need to do a little bit of back stitching for the stems of the cherries. So I thought we would do that, and then it's time to make another nest. So we're gonna start like from just the pieces of the plastic canvas that I pre-cut a while ago. And so I think I maybe did that on stream once before. I don't remember if I did it fully from the beginning, but maybe some of you missed it. And so we're gonna do that. We're gonna make the whole thing. Thanks, Joe. Thanks, Sarah. Yeah, I like, well, so far, we'll see if I ruin it with the back stitching. Bird on the bag looks good. Thank you so much. And yes, the bird is a scissor-tailed flycatcher. I'm getting better at saying it. Ooh, PWHL update. Right now we got Montreal versus Ottawa. If Montreal wins, they win tonight. Oh, like they would win. So, okay, so it's sort of like a World Series-ish. Of like there won't be further games if Montreal wins tonight. Okay, going back to hand-knitted gloves. Oh. That totally makes sense, Sam, that you want to try it. Try it on your own first. Oh boy, okay. Maybe I'll get rid of that for now. I've got too many things on my screen, and then when I get the little ads coming soon, I can't see the chat anymore. Ads, always taking over in some way. I can take it back if it doesn't look like you want it to. Maybe. I was forgetting though. I guess I do need to pull up a pattern for the back stitching. I was thinking I wouldn't have a pattern up today because just putting together the building the structure of the nest, I don't have a pattern for or need a pattern for. But I do want to look at how I designed the back stitching of the cherry stems. So we can do that. Just load up the iPad. If it decides to load, let's go here. Let's get the iPad on screen. Oh, see, the worm is the one I'm going to do next. Do I have the cherries still? Maybe. Oh, no, I never... No, I did. Here we go. Yay! We can look at the cherries. And let's look at the pattern as well. All right. Don't need any of the symbols. Just need to kind of look at what's happening here. Okay. Well, real first thing, let's get some floss on here. What did I decide I was using? Apparently 433, I don't think I have that with me. And I don't know why I would need to use that when I have so many other brown colors for this pattern. So I think I'm just gonna use good old 801. using a ton of 801 for this whole pattern. That's what we're gonna keep doing. There is an ad coming up soon, folks, so I might just take the ad time to get myself situated here. But until then, I don't know where I was going with that. I don't have plans tonight. I have not put plans and effort into anything tonight. Ooh, okay, back stitching. How much do I want? So I've been stitching over 6 strands for the main stitches. Maybe I'll do it over 3, which is gonna be tough. So maybe we'll do it over 4. That'll be easier. For anyone who is a cross stitcher, I prefer to do the loop start method when at all possible, especially for a 3D pattern like this. And so I need to stay with like even numbers to make that easily possible. Because I'm gonna fold these 2 over so that I can do the loop start method. Okay, let's make these a little even. Oh, Sarah, congrats on finishing your second Hankler fish. And ads, I think, have begun. That's great. I was trying to think tonight if we should do a show and tell. Maybe we will, because I'd love to see your Hankler fish. Although, I feel like with your luck, I feel like you're never... am I right that you're, like, rarely here for show and tell? I was gonna say, your power will go out or something just before show and tell. Okay, we got ads going, so I'm gonna just kick back for a little bit of a break before I get fully started here. I am officially off the intense medicine, so I'm very excited to be able to have a drink again. Joe, go for it. I feel like that's what they're called in the game, but am I wrong? If it's just because of how I designed them not looking like cherries, then that's fine. I think they're berries. Oh, are they berries in the game? That's very funny. Maybe I'll look it up. Let's see here. They do, you know, now that you say it, they do just look more like berries. Why is this such a hard thing to look up? Let's see. Oh, okay, in the game they are called berries. Because birds eat berries, you know? More than cherries. That's a good point. I've just, the entire time that I've, like, designed this, I've called them cherries, and they kind of looked like cherries to me. And not, like, real cherries. But I think I had a game when I was a kid that was something about, like, a farmer and, like, a cherry orchard. And they kind of look like the cherries from that board game. So that's part of, I think, how I got there in my brain. Sarah says, if the power goes out, there will barely be a breeze. Do you mean just like that's how these storm watches always go? Of like, oh yeah, you'll get the power going out, but nothing will have really happened with the storm? Hi-ho Cheerio, Melby and Joe. Yes, oh my gosh. There was no way I was coming up with that name myself, but that was 100% it. I loved that game when I was little. Okay, do you agree from your like preschool memory? These kind of like the Hi-ho Cheerio cherries? Oops. Although in retrospect, did I do these colors completely? They look so pink. Did I just accidentally do the nectar for this entire thing? Do I have to redo the cherries, the berries? I do remember when I was about to go out of town, I like pulled the colors and then I was like, these feel wrong. But I might have still just done the wrong thing. Oh no, okay. These are the numbers in the pattern. So they just look way pinker in real life. I would like that if they looked more red. But I did the whole dang thing already. Maybe I'll do it for now, and one day, which probably means never, I'll make them more red. Nectar berries sound delicious. What is a nectar berry? Oh, just because I said that. Gotcha. Yeah, that does sound tasty. I'll take a nectar berry smoothie. Sarah, I grew up in North Texas, so I'm with you on the storms and the tornadoes and having all the watches and then it just going by and nothing happening, which is way better than something happening usually. So that's okay. What am I doing here? Okay. But anyway, welcome back from ads, folks. If the ads happened when they said they were happening, I'm going to attempt to do this backstitching somehow. So we're gonna start right here. The biggest thing I'm gonna attempt is keeping this on camera. 1, 2, yeah, let's go down 3. So what's that? Okay. 1, 2, 3, over 1 or over 2? 1, let's go over 2. I think I'm okay with that amount of floss. I think that looks pretty good for a berry stem. Let's go down 2 over 3 again. Just realizing that this will not look great on the back, but I guess I'm just gonna go with it. A lot of little bits of random floss appearing everywhere because I did this on the plane, and so I just kept throwing random pieces of floss like back in the project bag. And I've not cleaned that up yet. Okay, so from here we go over 2, up 1. Guess there? Yeah, that makes sense. And then we're gonna go up to here. Also, just realizing that I pulled entirely too much floss for this, and that it's also going to mess up the other thing that I was doing. Oh well. But look at that! The berries have stems, and they look okay. They're very pink, which I somehow did not realize until now. Thanks. It's gonna be good enough, and it doesn't look great on the back, but I guess it doesn't look horrible. I'm just trying to tuck this under somewhere. Thanks for your support, everyone. Clean my workspace a little bit. Okay. And I might set this floss aside because I kind of messed things up. When I'm saying that I messed things up with that floss, what I'm referring to is the fact that... Where did this come from? Okay. That I am using blended threads for the nests, and that means I'm using 3 different colors in one, and I'm using like 2 strands of each one, so I'm stitching over 6 on the plastic canvas, and I've made a real effort to try to keep the like cuts of that floss between the 3 colors all the same length, and I just royally messed that up for myself by forgetting about that when I cut these. So I'll have to figure that one out. But I think this piece should still be the right length. Also, I might not get to that point tonight because first I have to construct the nest, and I use a single color excuse me, to construct the nest. So blended threads come in when I'm sort of filling in, when I'm coloring in the rest of the nest. Is it tricky to cross stitch on a plane when things are moving? Turbulence does make it harder. I feel like this was a great project for it because the plastic equates to kind of like 10 count Eta, so it's like really big. So it's a lot easier to like see and, you know, get the needle through the correct hole when the plane is shaking and everything. And if the turbulence is too bad, like I get too motion sick, I can't cross stitch. What was I cross stitching on this trip? I guess just Wingspan. I like to try to have a smaller project, and if at all possible, just like a simple one in a small hoop. But I think I just didn't have anything I wanted to bring, so I brought Wingspan, and that actually worked out pretty well. But I think for the most part, it's not too tricky. I think a car might even be harder. I think it's one of those things like when you get as big as like a plane or a cruise ship, you know, sometimes you feel it, but for the most part, your brain and your body kind of adjusts to it. But I think that cross stitching on planes has made plane travel a lot better for me, except for the fact that like sometimes I do have work that I need to catch up on the plane, and then I don't want to because I'm like, or I could just cross stitch and listen to a podcast, and that would be amazing. But when I don't have work to do and maybe a long flight, that would just feel so annoying otherwise. The cross stitching really passes the time very well. So highly recommend crafting however you can on a plane. And before we construct the next nest, let us actually do a little shelf stitch for Melby, for Melby's resub. Thank you so much. Been subscribed for 8 months. I love that. And I know you're lurking, so if you don't hear me or can't respond, that is okay. But I did want to double check. Wow, look how zoomed in that is on the stand. I did want to double check if you resubbed for 1 month or more than that, because on my end, it says that you resubbed for 7 months and have been subscribed for 8 months, and that just sounds like a weird combination of numbers. And Twitch does things in weird ways, so I just wanted to double check and give you as many little stitches as you are owed here. That is the objective. Okay, computer. Zoom in. I mean, focus. What are you doing? Maybe it will not. Maybe I gotta do it myself. There we go. And we use this color for subscribers. Oh, Joe tried to cross stitch on a flight. It did not go well. I'm so sorry to hear that. I wasn't sure how to do the beauty influencer trick in this particular case. Okay, Melby, yeah, that's great. It was just the the 7 and the 8 kind of tripped me up. I was like, I'm not entirely sure what's going on there. But yeah, auto is awesome, so we're gonna assume it's 1 month. But anyways, stitching on train. Okay, I've stitched a lot on Amtrak, and oh, you were okay trained to NYC. Oh yeah, I want to hear all about your trip to New York. I forgot about that. But okay, so I've done a lot of like New York area trains, and it's worked for me. And I get like motion sick sometimes. and haven't had that issue. So I'm sorry that it didn't work out for you. I guess you should take, I mean, as always, any of my advice or saying like, yeah, this thing is fine, with a grain of salt. It might not work for everyone. Sarah visited family, had a cross-stitch kit put together, using one of those bags meant for toiletries that can hang and has many small zipper pockets. That is clever. Put a needle minder on one of the mesh pockets and did a small project. You could put on a hoop small enough to fit in the bag. That's genius. I have like these project bags. I have them in a couple of different sizes, and yeah, I do the same of like try to find a project where the hoop will fit in here, and then I can just have everything else that I need goes in here, so like I can easily pull this out of my backpack or whatever. Highly recommend the project bag for travel, but the toiletries bag with the different compartments, that's really clever. And yes, booklight, very helpful. I used a booklight forever, and then my friend gave me an extra one of these that she had recently, and it's like a neck light. So it hangs there, and then you can kind of, I even started thinking like, would this work on stream? So I don't have to have that over, but I'm seeing now, I don't think it goes far enough. I don't think it would quite work. But when you're actually like stitching where you usually stitch and you're not on a live stream doing it, this is very cool, and it adjusts in all kinds of ways. So if you don't already have a book light and you want to buy some kind of light, I might recommend this over the book light. I'm still getting used to it. Jury's still out. Because I've always had like a clip book light for reading, and then I started using it for cross stitching, and it's especially good for travel on planes and trains. But the neck light is really cool. Oh, Sarah, I've heard people give that advice before of pre-cutting the floss shorter than normal so you don't have to like, yeah, elbow people. I forgot that advice, and I've been doing the opposite of that and actually cutting longer than normal because I get extra annoyed at having to get more floss ready when I'm like on a plane or a train. Okay, Joe. Okay, didn't find it restful because of the jostling. Yeah, I think maybe, like you said, like if you think it would be something that in theory you enjoy because it's something to do with your hands, yeah, maybe try it a few more times. Who knows? Apparently I am a monster. I'm just going all over. I mean, I am cognizant of like trying to stay in my area. I think I just do a lot of like going straight up with the floss if I can. I'm also a smaller person, so I think I usually have a little bit more space in like things like plane seats than some people might. And somehow I feel like that's made me more conscientious of the space, maybe just because I have the room to navigate. I don't really know. I unpack that one another time. Caution about book lights. Some are made to only clip on just the cover. Yes, yeah, if you are buying a new book light, make sure that it can clip out wide enough to fit on a hoop, especially if you were using Q-snaps. I forgot what I did. I think I came up with a solution, or maybe I just gave up when I was in my Q-snap era, and trying to get a book light on there, because my book light definitely was not big enough for Q-snaps. So if you were buying a light new, like you don't already have a little light or a little book light that you're working with, either make sure the hinge is big enough, or maybe go for the neck light. But again, I was gifted that, so I'm not sure what the price point is on those. But here's Melby's resub stitch, adding to the shelf to hold up the spools, both figuratively and literally supporting the stream here. So thank you for that. Heck yeah, Nerd Hoop Gang. I got a whole pack of these in different sizes a while ago, and I'm just like, I only use orange Nerd Hoops now. That's all I do. This is my life. I did actually buy a pack of wooden embroidery hoops over the weekend. There is a, like, I think kind of like famous big yarn store in my area that had their annual huge sale, which was mostly all like yarn and knitting stuff. They had a little bit of cross-stitching and embroidery stuff, and they had packs of like 4 or 5 embroidery hoops of different sizes for like $7, and I was like, I'm gonna get that because sometimes I finish a project that I have stitched in a Nerd Hoop, But the way that I kind of want to present it when I finish it or if I gift it to someone is in that more like classic looking wooden embroidery hoop. And so I'm starting to run low on all the ones that I just kind of acquired when I first got into this hobby. And so even though I'm fully nerd hoop gang, I bought a bunch of wooden ones the other day. Ooh, good tip, Sarah. Craft Light is $10 more than Book Light. Isn't that funny when things are like branded for a different activity or hobby and they just like it's an excuse to jack up the price? So that's a great tip. Okay, we are gonna make a bird nest. And actually, I think I was wanting to be a little bit more right here. Okay, I gotta check my sticky note. Check my color. This has become my all-important sticky note. Let's see if autofocus wants to play nice again. Okay, so for the edges, we're using 869, which is right here. Okay, so I'm gonna mess up my lengths no matter what anyways when I start on this. So that's fine. So basically what we're gonna do is go one of these smaller pieces at a time and stitch them together. It's been a few months since I've done this, but presumably it will come back to me. Oh yeah, is that pink washing? I feel like pink washing refers to a couple of different things, and it can either be products being like gendered and made more money when they're for women because they're pink or whatever, but it can also refer to things that just like slap on some kind of like in the rainbow washing kind of way of like corporations and companies making it look like they are supporting a cause, but they are not really. Like, I think the term might have originally been from breast cancer, of like companies that made their products pink but weren't really doing much to support research on breast cancer. I feel like when I looked this up once, I was surprised by what the original origin was, and it was different than how I usually say it. Wait, okay. So I need 3 strands of the same size here. I almost just made a knot. I think one of the more egregious 21st century pink washing, if that is the term we're going with, was the Bic pens. It was like I think it was like for her. It was just like a pink pen, maybe like extra comfort grip or something, but it was just like, why does this have to be for her? And there was huge outrage. I think they apologized because it was just very, very ridiculous. Like, that's fine to have a pink pen or, you know, whatever features the pen had, but you didn't have to say the pen was for her. Like, that's just weird, and I don't know, harkens back to like early 20th century and before, when women's brains and bodies were thought to be not as capable of men's in various ways. Like, it was bad. And this was sometime in the last 10 years, I think. Yeah, exactly. More colors are definitely fun to have. I'm so not against things being done in pink. I would also love, like, a lot of women's products that only come in pink to come in other colors. That would be great too. Like, not every woman or person who wants or needs those products likes the color pink. More color options of everything. I mean, that even gets me into my beige rant and my late stage capitalism rant of why are so many things just gray and beige now. Cars are so predominantly like dark gray, especially in urban areas, because so many people are doing like Lyft and Uber and stuff like as drivers, and so they want the cars that look more neutral like that. And so, like with everything else in our world, companies have realized that it's cheaper to just make things in like one color that's like fine, no one loves it, but it's fine, and you don't have to make other colors, and there's just not fun and whimsy and art in any of our products anymore, and it's so sad. Oh, that's been on my watch later forever. The Answer in Progress on Millennial Gray. Yeah, definitely. I definitely need to watch that. Does anyone know where the needle that I was using went? Was it this one? Because I don't know. Metallic orange cars. I have an orange car, but it's not metallic orange. It's just pumpkin orange, as is everything that I own. This is the real truth of me. As I say I want color options, I just want to be able to have everything I own be orange. That's the real truth. Yeah, if I were like a massive Apple fanboy, this would be a great era of Apple for me. I mean, I do have the orange iMac from several years ago that I got from a grant. But the orange iPhone they have now, man, if I were in a place where I were buying a new iPhone, that would have been so much fun. I don't want to buy another iPhone until they make them small again. I'm seeing how long I can hold out, because I have the mini, and I very much do not want anything else. So how do I start this? What do I want to do? I think I want to maybe go more this way. And starting is always the hardest, both in this specific project and in most things in life. 2020 SE, it's the smallest one, but the battery is so bad. I think I have a 13 mini. Maybe that feels so old, but that might be what I actually have. Yeah, I don't want a bigger phone either. They're so big. It's stupid. I think part of it is also that, like, I am a tablet user. I like having an iPad, and so it just feels even sillier to me to have a phone that's almost as big as my tablet. I think I would pretty happily give up smartphones and just have a tablet if it weren't for CarPlay. CarPlay's been a real big, like, game changer for me now that I have a car again. And you can't connect iPads to CarPlay, and I feel like that's not a feature that's gonna come at any point. I feel like that might be like a safety thing. I think you can like hack it somehow, but I get nervous about that. How do I beauty influencer the autofocus? The Air? Do they have an Air for phones now? Or are you saying you have like the iPad Air? That is an interesting point, Allison, because I am definitely aware of people who are worried about like getting too bulky by lifting heavier weights, but that's a good point. They're lifting heavier stuff in their day-to-day life. There's an iPhone Air. God, I'm so out of touch these days. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not on screen with this. I'm not really doing it too well either. This is not very tight. I think I did something that's making it... There we go. Tighten it up a little bit. How does this look? Okay. These ones are always hard because they're just like, they're real floppy because it's the first time you're securing it at all. I think I went at this one a weird direction. Replacing the iPhone 8. Wow, that was an impressive holdout. But yeah, once the battery starts making the phone almost useless, it's tough. Okay, I think we're getting into a better zone here now. Oh, we're at 7 o'clock. So, quick check in on how anyone's projects are going. Now we're into stream. Have you started on them? Have you hit any targets yet tonight? I'm clearly just starting on my main project of the night. No, Joe, that's so sad. 50, that's a lot to undo. I'm so sorry. What happened, if you want to share? Your fingers look jaundiced, so I say the dandelion prep is going well. That is so cool. What is the, what did I do? No, okay, this is gonna be okay. I thought these were, like, uneven for a moment. Yeah, I've always wanted to, like, make, well, dandelion wine, just because, you know, it sounds cool. Maybe this is kind of off. No, it's not. I'm fine. You're doing a pattern with 2 pages. Oh, yeah, that'll mess you up every time. I thought that I had super messed up on that for a cross stitch that I'm working on right now. And I think I loaded it into markup RXP in a weird way because I just like wasn't really paying attention. And I think that I am fine. It just kind of looks like I'm not when you look at markup RXP, like the pattern tracker. But when you look at the actual pattern and what I've done, I think it's fine. So I'm hoping that I'm okay, because I was almost in a similar place of having to undo like 100 stitches or something the other day, and I was like, no way, this can't be what I'm doing. Where am I going? Let's go here. Knitting a summer tee from the neck down. What color is your summer tee? That sounds very fun. You also must live somewhere like where you could wear a knit t-shirt in the summer. I feel like in Texas and Florida and places like that, that might not quite be the case. Olive green. Oh, wool and linen. Ooh, that's a cool blend. Okay, so that's actually perfect for the summer. Very nice. What was I? Oh, I need to, before I forget, just do one thing over here. And I think we should go ahead. Everyone's working on such fun stuff. Let's say it'll be a show and tell night. TBD at exactly what time. It'll be towards the end of the stream. But let me get out the submission link. Wait, I don't have to do that. There's a command for this. So if you want to share a photo of what you're using, got the instructions in the link there. And then I'm just gonna open my back end of it in a new tab over here. Kate V knits a lot of her own clothes. That's awesome. Yeah, I definitely got like into the I don't know, into the spirit is not the right word, but I think being at the big yarn sale that I was at was just like, wow, so cool how many people do make their own clothes, whether it's knitting or sewing. And I don't know, I love that kind of thing so much. I would love, like, the time to to be able to commit to that kind of thing. For me, I'd have to like learn and relearn stuff, but I don't know. It's just such a nice part of the world to be in, and I like the self-sufficiency and the sustainability and the art form of it all, and there's so much good to it, but it takes time and money in a different way than clothing yourself normally, but I don't know, it's all good vibes. So I'll have to check out, is it Kate V? I already forgot. I gotta scroll back up and open this in a new tab to check out later. Kate V on TikTok and IG. Good to be on IG for an old like me who doesn't really go on TikTok. I was never very good at TikTok. I think I had like one TikTok that got like 100,000 views or something like that. But I was never very good at like just using and watching TikToks. But then the whole like when they shut down and then they claimed that it was like at the time not yet President Trump who saved them and brought it back, and I was just like, you know what, I don't want to even touch this anymore. I never really liked it, so it's an easy like passive boycott for me, but I was like, I'm not here for this. So even though I don't like Meta any better, I guess I'm just sort of like sticking to one corrupt platform. I don't know. But yeah, I'll joke that I'm not on TikTok because I'm like old or out of touch, but it is actually a little bit of a conscious decision at this point. Like I have not posted my content on it since then. I guess that's the main thing, is I'm like, I don't think I want to be posting any of my videos on there anymore. I live in a like university area, and it was commencement this past weekend, and I was like walking downtown last night, and this dude came up to me, and I had a backpack on, so like this is my bad, but I had a backpack on, and this dude was like, didn't graduate this year, and I was like, I'm 36. I graduated like 20 years ago, my man. And then turned out he was also 36, and our birthdays are almost the same, and we had a nice moment, but I was just like, man, really, really getting mistaken for an undergrad when I'm in my mid-30s. I do not like having to switch floss in the middle of this kind of thing. But it happens. The good news is that these kind of tighten up a bit once I sort of like fully stitch them together. Like they're very floppy right now. And now I'm like doubting. Is this the same color? I think so. Because I was doing weird stuff with the 801, but I think I cleaned it all up. And then I think this is 4 strands, and I need 3, so I'll just take one off. Sarah, it's kind of like that for me too, of like my parents have until recently always looked quite young for their age as well. And I think there was one time even I was like out to dinner with my dad, and a server was not wanting to serve me alcohol, and I was like, guess his age, and like pointed at my dad. I'm like, if you're way off on that, then maybe you'll believe that I do just look young. Whoa, okay. Thanks for the extra info on Kate V. Deoxyribo. That's so cool. An epidemiologist, PhD candidate, and does a lot of like budgeting and vegan meal stuff. That's so cool. Okay, definitely need to check her out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I had more floss in this than I thought. And that's all fine. Everything's fine. Thanks for getting in some submissions to the show and tell, guys. Or we'll, oh no, I made a big knot. Like I said, we'll get into that towards the end of the stream, which will be a little bit after 8 o'clock. Maybe we'll do show and tell at 8 o'clock. We'll see. This is this is really unsure what I did here and how I might fix it. Well, that's going one way. Funniest, worst one was my mom took her younger sister to the airport. As she was with her check-in, the person behind the counter told your mom how nice it was she was taking her mom to the airport. Oh no. Oh, but okay, this was... She got a free pass to sit with her, so she just went with it. That's funny. I did fairly recently have an instance where I was like at the box office buying tickets for a student production and was asked if I was a student, and the discount for students was quite substantial, but I just like knee-jerk said no without thinking, because I think I was like, oh, they're probably gonna ask for my student ID, or like, you know, they all know each other. Like, I don't know why. I just said no immediately. And yeah, I regret that one. That would have been such an easy way. Because it could have even been if they somehow did check. Then it'd be like, oh, what? Sorry, I misheard you. Like, you know, they're the ones who offered. I wasn't even trying to swindle them. Oh, that's funny. The agent just felt that bad. Okay, that's super funny. Yeah, I feel like you kind of can't comment on anything about a stranger. Okay, this is going somewhere. Did I make it worse or better? I think I made it worse. This is going to be the rest of the stream now. Is me trying to get rid of this knot. Well, maybe I'll just cut it off here. Literally cut my losses because I made this real bad. One knot versus undoing 50 stitches. Nope, I'm giving up. I'm done. Because I didn't quite need that much. I think I'm probably going to run out again, but didn't quite need that much anyways. Sorry, Joe. Left you hanging with your undoing 50 stitches. Ooh, seam ripper. Yeah, with 50 stitches, I probably would have done that too. I feel like I was gonna do something on this ad break. Now I don't remember what it was. I'm too tired. Thoughts are not staying in my head. It is indeed a relative comparison. I was quite gone. Okay, what do I want to do? It was a very long illness. My body is tired. Welcome back from the ads. Anyone who might have been gone from the ads, you did not miss much here. In particular because I was gonna do something during the ads and I forgot what it was. I feel like it was like standing up to get something or just like taking a break. But I did not do that. Allison's next sweater project is going to be bright orange and a fun basket weave as a rebellion from beige and gray trend. Heck yeah. Well done. Oh, that's so exciting. I can't wait to see pictures of that. That's good, Joe. I appreciate that. I'm going to do some shoulder stretches, too. Ugh, I encourage everyone to do some wrist stretches right now, not just me. A lot of you are crafting right now. Not a bad idea. What is this one that I saw someone else do? I've done it a few times. It's kind of just like that. Okay, Sam says, a friend was in line for a ticket to the public pool, asked whether she was still 14 or under. She was 28. That's the thing, is like, when you're mistaken for that young, then adults treat you in the not great way that they tend to treat teenagers. And so I usually like to correct them so that I don't get scolded and talked down to. Although maybe we should just not treat teenagers that way. How about that? Sorry, Sarah. It was just the creaky wrists needing to be stretched. I gotta fully remember this. There was something I saw some streamer do. It was something like this, but I don't feel like I'm fully doing it correctly. There was some other element to it, and it was really good. I'll have to look it up again. I'll just do some wrist rolls. Far too radical, Sarah. Far too radical. I feel like when I was in college, I didn't, like, that was the one time in my life, or not, like, late high school, early college was the one time in my life I think I, like, looked my age, and sometimes would get mistaken for older or younger, but, like, there was nothing super substantial. But as a sophomore in college, I had to take my SAT 2s because I was transferring, and the original schools I had applied to did not require me to have SAT 2s, but the schools I was transferring to did. So as a college sophomore, I had to, like, go to a high school testing facility, and the way they just, like, barked at all the kids and yelled at us for going places, and I was just, like, so annoyed, because I, like, maybe told one or two of them, like, I'm not a high schooler, like, I'm 21, please let me just, like, live my life, let me go to the bathroom, whatever. But it was also sort of like, what is the point? I'm just gonna go along with what they're saying. But it felt very demeaning to, like, be back in that life when I wasn't really supposed to be. And that memory came to me for some reason the other day. I, like, hadn't thought about that in forever. For some reason, got triggered in my brain. I remembered it. Not triggered in a trauma way, just like a, oop, remembered. Okay, maybe I need to move the camera a little, because I keep not doing this on camera at all. I'll try this adjustment. Okay, moving on to the final piece. It's pretty good. Let me just loop it around again. I've not done the same thing on any of the four corners here. Truly just making it up as I go along. Excuse me. Do not have a good sense of if I'm gonna run out of floss or if it's gonna be just right. We are about to find out. think I'm gonna be just too short. Yeah, this is not gonna do it. Ugh, so annoying. Yeah, I've got too many to go. I think I gotta finish it here. Ugh, so close. Oh, but you know what? I will continue going along the sides and the top. So I will still use a full amount. Okay. I was mostly annoyed when I was thinking that, like, I had to cut it shorter, like, cut the next one shorter. So this is okay. I'm not as bothered now that I've remembered that. But I do have to try not to tangle this floss this time. So I already have 2 strands here. I think it might be like floss like 3 Jack 0 at this point tonight. Oh, excuse me. Okay, so this is a brand new thing of 6. I'm gonna measure it out to be the same length as these other ones. That. I set those ones aside. And get 1 piece off of here. Plastic pieces are attached, so maybe Jack 1. I appreciate that, Mikey. I was thinking, like, you know, even just the realization I had about how I don't need to cut a shorter length because I have further to go, like, that felt like a little bit of a win. 1 stitch per hour of work, Joe. I'm so sorry. That's, I've been there. I have very much been there. But hey, well done on the 1 stitch. That is a great accomplishment. And, you know, if you count the negative stitches as positive ones, because you were actively doing work, you know? Yeah, waffle emoticon is actually probably the best reaction to that news. 101! See? That's huge! 101 in an hour? That's a lot. That's a lot of stitches in 1 hour. Perhaps did not need to rewind that whole thing since I'm going to use it again soon. Oh well. It's a sleepy day. Not in like a rainy sense here though. It was very sunny today. I definitely feel like spring started while I was sick. It's like I was in a haze of travel and illness, and then when I kind of woke up again, it was like, oh, all the leaves have grown back. All the flowers are in bloom. And suddenly it's 90 degrees. I don't think we hit 90 today, actually, but I think we're gonna hit 90 on Wednesday. Because I was warned that I have rehearsal somewhere that does not have air conditioning, which is not too unusual for the Northeast, but it was definitely like I don't know, an unwelcome revelation. And especially knowing this is where I'm going to be rehearsing and performing all throughout June, July, and August, I was like, okay, I need to make some strategies now of what I'm going to wear and like the water that I'm gonna bring and the deodorant that I'm gonna bring. 98 degrees, like the band? Am I missing another 98 degrees reference? Or are you just saying it'll be 98 degrees where you are? Because, you know, if you're in Florida, that makes sense. Yeah, the band. All right, cool. I was never a huge 98 Degrees fan, but I did have one of their albums on cassette. Yep, yeah, similar generation. As I just said, I had it on cassette. So, yep. All right, how do I want to start this first one? I guess we'll just go in here. Going on the tops here, I've like tried to get them to have a little bit of an angle to the stitches, because I just feel like it looks nicer. I'm also feeling like I will go more quickly if I can come from the bottom, but I think I missed my chance to do that. Whoa, you had 98 Degrees on CD. I think it was slightly before my CD era. I think actually the first CD that I like bought just for myself that wasn't like my parents had this CD was No Strings Attached by NSYNC. So that was when I think I got a Walkman or a boombox or something. Melby traveled 4 hours south this weekend, coming back from 89 degrees Fahrenheit to the rainy high of 50. Was a bit of a shock both ways. Yeah, I bet. I mean, it's feeling a bit of a shock just in the weather that's happening here. We're going back to manual focus. Auto's not cooperating. I guess manual barely is either. That's about as good as we're gonna get right now. Because I think we're back to like the 40s in a couple of days. We're gonna be in the 90s, and then it's gonna go back to the 40s. What is this? May, I guess, is what it is. It's gonna be May. You see the video from Justin Timberlake a while ago? It was like a Stitch post where someone was just like, did you ever mispronounce something once in your life and regret it for the rest of your life? And Justin Timberlake just responded to it saying, May. I also do love, like, how removed or deconstructed that joke has gotten, that on the night of April 30th into May 1st, Tumblr still just posts tons of photos of ramen noodles, and we all know what it means. It's gonna be me. So he just pronounced me. Yeah. You actually got it accidentally with your typo. That's what it was supposed to be. It's gonna be me. But he said May because he was saying it cool. Oh yeah, so I think actually in the Stitch he said me. He didn't say May. He correctly pronounced the word me. Ramen noodle thing is because his hair in that era looked like ramen noodles when he had like the bleached wavy hair. His bad perm and bleach job, exactly, Milby. Okay, going back down the side the wrong way, but that's okay. Okay, got the side. And then I'm going to reach back over, but try to cover that up once I fill in the other stitches. I think I was saying that I would prefer going from the top, so we're going to attempt to do that on this one. I think this feels a little easier. Still getting a little lost in the floss here. Lost in the floss. Oh yeah, because that can't be in there. Don't want to make a knot. There are 6 food tokens in the version of Wingspan that we have, and I have completed 4 of the nests. So this is number 5 out of 6. So I am getting there. I think I will actually finish the nests fairly soon, and then I just gotta get back to work on the scissor-tailed flycatcher bag. And in particular, it's like I'm close to the bird, but there's a background that makes it look a little bit more like the box. It's not completely full coverage, but kind of close to full coverage. So that's what's going to take me a while. And I was saving that to make sure I finish the bird first, because then I can kind of decide, like, do I really want to do the background or not? But I think I would like to, and I might as well, since it's taken me this long. You know, might as well do it properly. Thanks, Sarah. Yeah, I'm excited that I'm finally getting there. Okay, that kind of worked. You gotta hold it up close, and then even if you move it away, it stays in focus. Well, waste canvas functions a little bit like Ada cloth. That's one of the advantages of it, is it, you know, in many ways is just Ada cloth. But yeah, there's definitely some other learning curves to it, I guess I would say. It is very fun. Like, in theory, I want to just cross stitch on like everything and on like clothing and stuff like that, and I just like haven't really had the ideas of what to do for a lot of that kind of thing. Okay, let's try to. Not entirely sure what I'm doing with this. It's like sticking out here, maybe, and then put it in here to finish it. There we go. Nice. Just trim it off at the top here. The main thing I keep thinking, if I want to just do like little small cross-stitch pictures on like clothing or bags or something using waste canvas, is in the World of Cross-Stitching magazine, they always have a section called Design Library, and it's just like a lot of small patterns kind of all on the same theme, and sometimes you can get a lot of kind of more like icon type of things. And so I keep thinking I need to look back at like old issues of that, and maybe I would find inspiration / like patterns I could use for little smaller things on clothing. Pac-Man and the Four Ghosts on a polo. I like that. That's good. I honestly think I even want to just do like a few unconnected cross-stitch X's, like maybe along like here on a more raglan style shirt or something. Like even something like that I think could look cool. Just a really tiny, simple embellishment. Okay, so that's 3. I did finally start working on the Ninja Turtles jacket again recently. You can't tell much, but I have done quite a bit more. Do you want to focus? No? That's okay. I think I had only done a little bit of like that on the stream, and I did all the rest of it in the recent days. The main thing is that I like flipped the Q-snap so that I'm sort of holding it under the collar of the jacket now, and it's a lot easier to get my hands like up and around. I was getting really frustrated with how hard it was to just move my hands, and so then I was trying to like almost like stitch in hand, where you're like just stitch from the front, or no, stitch with 2 hands. That's what I was trying. I was trying to stitch with 2 hands, where one's at the back and one's at the front, and I just like have not gotten the handle on that enough to be good at that. Thanks everyone, thanks for the encouragement on that. Yeah, I had a project I was working on that required me to like watch a lot of things, things that like I really only needed to kind of listen to, and so I was like, you know what, I'm feeling inspired to pull out this project while I listen to these things that I have to listen to. And that worked well, and now I'm like, I need more work like that, like that, where I can cross stitch while I'm getting work done. That's the dream. That's the real dream. What am I doing? That's probably not how I wanted to do this. Oh well. Can't even tell where this is meant to be. Maybe we'll do this. Oh, I like this. This version is good. I just keep having to like try out different kind of positions of how I'm holding it and how I'm holding the floss and which direction the floss is coming from. That is the least fiddly it can be. This seems to be a good solution so far. Oh, and thanks Deoxyribo for saying that the green is so nice. I changed the green since I designed it, but did not make a note of that anywhere. And so I had to really try to figure out what the green was, and I like went back and watched the VOD of the stream, but I had a memory of like discussing it on stream, but I couldn't find where in the video where I had discussed it, and the only time that the floss I was using was on camera, it was out of focus, and I was like, this is so not helpful. What's the point of having these recordings of me working on projects if I'm not even accurate in what I'm doing? Or if I can't get the information that I need. But I just kind of pulled out like all of the green floss that I had and color matched it, and I think it's right. It looks like it matches, so that's what we're going with. And this is why I've got my trusty sticky note for my Wingspan project. Okay, I think we are gonna get to filling in tonight, which means getting back to the annoying place of blended stitches, but That's okay because it's progress. I really spin this, so this was getting kind of potential for tangled. Good tip for anyone who feels like their floss is always getting knots and tangled in it. When you feel like it's getting kind of, I don't know, like tensed up, just sort of hold up your project and drop it and let it spin out, and then that'll save you for a bit. Just periodically do that, and obviously I still get knots in various ways, but that will save you from a good amount of knots. A little hot tip that I know I've shared before on stream, but not everyone's at every stream or remembers everything that I say. I felt like going this direction really worked. Except missing some coverage there. I will say that this would have been very annoying to do on a plane. I was very specifically trying to avoid having to make these, like the structures of these, while I was on a plane. Whoa, Sarah, congratulations on winning Floss Chicken. How close did you get? I guess that's a hard thing to describe. But clearly I did not win earlier. Okay, we can add you to the scoreboard. You get a point against the Floss now. Maybe one more stitch. Well done. I'm gonna have too much floss left over, which is slightly annoying. Yeah, I know. I was like wishing I had some kind of alert or some celebration that I could do for you for winning Floss Chicken. Alas. That's very impressive that that photographer was able to figure it out by like matching in Photoshop, because I feel like there is so much that can happen with like variance in lighting, and then like screen's not really an issue the way you would use Photoshop, but yeah, I guess especially just lighting on the photos, there just feels like there's a lot that could be inconsistent and go wrong with that. So that's very impressive on your friend's part. That's not a bad idea, Sarah. I have been trying to do a Floss Chicken one. I just haven't liked the visuals I've come up with for it yet, but I do like the win or loss, and that people can do it for themselves or for me. I like that concept. That's a good expansive concept there. Okay. We have created the perimeter of a nest. Some little floss on it. Nice. Okay. And now we got to do the blended stitches. Thank you everyone. Thank you. Yeah, maybe we just need some celebratory alerts in general. Okay. Gotta clear out my spool shelf floss so I don't confuse it, because we need 801 869. And that just says worm. That's not helpful. That's not going to tell me the colors I need. 938. Whoa! Thanks for the cheers, Melby. Oh my god, I'm forgetting the name of that dog. But thanks so much. Worm. It just says worm. That's all we get. We just get worm. 938. I've done it. Oh, you can't see any of those I was pulling out. But there we go. That's also a good call, Sarah. Everyone to celebrate with hydration. I'll drink actual water for a minute. Oh, wait. Yeah, okay, 869. Yeah, okay. I was second guessing myself for a minute with my non-worm sticky note. Alright. This is not going to be helpful. That's a very small amount of floss. So I have one piece of 869 here. Oh, I have two pieces. I'm gonna wind one back on so that I don't get confused. Hydrate or die straight. Yeah. This worm is up for grabs as someone's gender of the day. If anyone wants to chime in with your gender of the day. Gosh, I don't know what mine is yet. Mine's something sleepy. My gender of the day might be nap. I think that's my... I did get to take a brief power nap today, and that was the best I felt all day, was while I was sleeping. Or, like, you know, while I was, like, almost sleeping. And so I feel that's the most seen I think I've felt today. The most authentic I have felt. So I'm gonna say that my gender today is nap. Sarah's is Goro Goro. I don't know what that is. Please enlighten us. Dandelion soup is a fantastic gender. Congratulations on that gender. Is this really so far off? That's annoying. Oh, right, because I messed up the 801. Okay, so maybe we set aside this 801 on the worm. Gender of the day, Tortoro. Deoxyribose is the shrug guy. I don't know what that emoticon is actually called, but I have a shortcut in my, like, iCloud keyboard that I made many, many years ago, and I just call it shrug guy, and that's how I can quickly type it. ASCII shrug. Oh yeah, I think that is probably the best way to get to the Google. Okay. Allison's gender of the day is underwater cactus. Should also go get some water. Yes, please do. Although if you're an underwater cactus, it does sound like you might have some decent submersive hydration going on. Okay, so this is 801. Goro Goro is onomatopoeia in Japanese. Whoa, love the idea of onomatopoeia in other languages. Means cat purring sound, thunder, lazily lying around. Ooh, wow. That's a strong one, and yes, very accurate to your present experience. And I'm very glad that we are almost 2 hours in, and you still have power. Do not seem to have been swept away in a tornado just yet. So very happy on both counts for that for you. Okay. Oh, that's great that you know when it's supposed to be over. Yeah, fingers crossed for you indeed. I hope that you stay safe. Just had some needle minders stuck to my scissors as I pulled them out, but it felt like they were stuck to my finger, and then I was like, do I have a needle stuck in my finger? That would be terrible. I did not. All is fine. Just a reminder, if anyone wants to do show and tell, I think in maybe 10-ish minutes, we're going to do a little show and tell. So that is the instructions and the link. Just a chance to share what you've been working on stream or recently. You know, it's fun to put a picture to the descriptions that everyone's been sharing. But no pressure at all. And it is, by default, it's anonymous. You don't have to start an account or anything. But if you want us to know that it was yours, just put a little thing in the caption area so we can shout you out if you want to. And on the note of anonymity, well, now ads are happening, so probably no one who needs to hear this will hear it, but just in case, because ads have been extra not reliable lately. Follows are anonymous here, so if you've been lurking as a newer viewer, and you don't want all the attention of a follow, as I know I usually don't as a viewer on Twitch, you can follow, and I will not, there won't be your name on the screen. I won't say your name unless you want to. And if you do follow and want a little acknowledgement, just join in on the chat and say hi. Okay, it's time to start the sides. So that's what they look like. This is this another big one? No, this is the same size. Maybe. Maybe it's not the same size. No, I think it is. Yeah, it's the, okay, this is the small size one. All right. How do I do this? Always have to remember. Okay. Do there. I've probably mentioned this last time, but I came up with the idea to do this kind of like diagonal pattern based on a cross-stitched tissue box cover for Christmas that my grandmother made, that I kind of inherited when she passed away. And I was like working on this Wingspan thing and just a little frustrated by how long it was taking to do that. That was the first side that I ever did in this project. And then I was looking at this tissue box and I was like, wait, maybe I can do it like this, because she did the sides kind of like that. And I was like, that takes a fraction of the amount of time and looks really cool. So this is kind of inspired by my grandmother's work. Just gotta check one thing here. Okay. Yeah, I love things like that kind of can get passed down, even unintentionally. I'm getting all tangled. Just make sure that's doing well. Okay. It always looks like it's not as filled in as I want it to be. But I think by the time I get a whole side done, it starts looking a little bit more filled in. Hopefully. or I've just done something wrong this time, but I feel like I have this reaction every time. Allison, it is particularly funny that you said grandma, not bird, because it is actually my grandma on my mom's side. And my grandma on my dad's side, we called grandma bird, but this was specifically my grandma, not bird. So that was a very, I know you were referencing my username, but that was very funny. I think she would not have enjoyed being called grandma, not bird, because, some of my second cousins who were her great grandchildren. She had a few great grandchildren before she passed. And they called her Grandma too, and she hated that. And they were like little. I think the oldest one was maybe 6. So I don't know that that would have kept up forever, but she really did not like that they had come up with Grandma too. So just based on that, I feel like she would not have appreciated Grandma Not Bird. Even though, like, she had a fine relationship with Grandma Bird, but I think, you know, anytime you're called the Not, that's not a great feeling. Yeah, Grandma too. Not great. That's true. She was the OG, but it makes her sound like the sequel. That's a great point. I feel like we probably talked about that at the time. But again, it was, you know, like preschoolers who came up with it. So can't give them too much critique on the logic. Make sure the back is looking okay. Yeah, good coverage on the back. That doesn't always happen. Sometimes I mess it up. Wow, that's great about your no mustache friend. I've definitely had that with some friend groups before, where you got 2 people with the same name and you just come up with like, this one frequently wears this thing, so now we call him that. But to carry it to an entirely different friend group and people forgetting his real name, that's something. Okay, and I think I'm gonna have to finish this piece of floss while we're here. It's 8 o'clock. Oh my gosh. It's happening. 8 o'clock is here. Well, that means, at least tonight, that it is time for show and tell. So last call to get your show and tell things in. Get this in focus. Let's enjoy this minute of 8 o'clock, everyone. The ghost of cross-stitch present has arrived. That's good. I like that. I think I will probably call it on this as well. But wow, what progress we made. We did the back stitching over here. We did the warm-up spool, and then we created this whole nest and even started filling it in a little bit. So I feel pretty good about that. So let's go over to show and tell, and then maybe we'll rate out, maybe not, but let's do some show and tell for now. I think, do I have... Oh no, that's the wrong screen. There we go. Hello. No, that's not it. I was on the right screen before. Just getting a tour of the screens now. Screen capture is what we're gonna do in a minute, once I just double check through all of... I moved this out of the shot as if it was going to be in the way for the screen capture. Wow. Oh my gosh. So many fun things. Oh, this is exciting. Okay. So if I do slideshow, well, I don't think I need to though. I think I can just use these buttons and then I can see the captions, and that's even better. Great. Okay. Okay, so let me turn this on. Hey! So this is, I assume this is Joe, because it says for Mikey and my 8-year anniversary, a Korok. Can you tell me a little bit more about what a Korok is? I love the look of it. Also, what a cute message for an anniversary gift. I love that. And once again, Joe, you remind me I need to be signing my cross-stitch projects. I'm so terrible at that. But yeah, please let us know. Maybe I'm the only one who doesn't know what a Korok is, because it's very cute and I think I like it, but I need to know more. Also, great framing job. Framing is sometimes annoying, so I always appreciate a good framing work. Oh, Legend of Zelda, a nature sprite who hides around and makes a fun giggle when you find them. I love it. Oh, I love that so much. Zelda's definitely up there on the games where I know that I like a lot of the lore, and a lot of like the music and the visuals. And I've tried playing it, and maybe I'll give it a shot another time, but I would say that's up there of games that I'm like, okay, I would maybe try this. Hanglerfish time! Oh, wow. This is okay. So can you remind us, is this different colors? Like, is there variance between them, or are they all identical? But again, Sarah, you're still here, right? You missed the first time we all saw this and we freaked out because I think we all thought you were just doing like little Hanklerfish, and then we were like, you're literally doing the whole outline in the project for Awesome Hearts. Like, this is so impressive, and all the hearts are different colors. Like, the amount of times you must change floss and stuff, it's very, very impressive. Okay. Yeah, the hearts making the fish is what's so cool and so impressive. And I like the different fabric. I did pick up that was a different color. These kind of tie-dye fabrics are fun. They're also so soft compared to normal Ada. Like, they're flimsy is the wrong word, but you know, they kind of like flop around. They feel very nice. 2,000 stitches. Impressive. Okay. Also, just a note that the Korok pattern was Nerdy Pattern on Etsy. So if you're into Zelda or any other nerdy things, that Nerdy Pattern is probably a good store to check out on Etsy. Thanks for that, Joe. You have a local cross-stitch store? Wait, I'm so jealous. In Florida? I know there's a 123 Stitch is based in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, which I have family there, so I go back frequently, and I keep meaning to go in person. You have two? Oh, there is an abandoned storefront in my town that I think it was maybe more quilting, but it seemed like they had embroidery stuff too, and I was so excited when I moved here and I saw it, and then I went and they're like permanently closed, and I'm so bummed. Oh, now you're in the middle of the US. Okay. That makes a little bit more sense for some reason, that there'd be cross-stitch stores somewhere in the Midwest versus in Florida. I'm still jealous. Very jealous. Yeah, you count that. 30 minutes away. Totally. Well, congrats on the second Hanklerfish. The Acorn Hotel. Notoriously. That's very good. Oh, this is also by Sarah. Nice. Yeah, okay. Now that I know your local store does the fabric, I get why you have so much of this fabric. This would be a good, like, storm fabric. Speaking of all the storms that you're in. I like the yellow on this, like, thunderstorm looking background. The yellow and orange really pop. Notoriously comfy. Is the Acorn Hotel from something, or is this just sort of like the joke with the notoriously? Because Acorn Hotel does sound a little familiar, but this is very cute. I like it a lot. I'm a big fan of these colors, as no surprise for everyone who knows I love orange. Yeah, we should start guessing the count number on each of it. I'm gonna guess that this is also maybe in the, maybe like 3,000? Oh, you meant that kind of count. I thought you meant the number of stitches, and I was like, I'm game for guessing the number of stitches in all of these. 16 count. Nice. I'm in a 18 count zone right now. The Ninja Turtles jacket is 18 count waist canvas just because I needed it to be a specific size to cover up the old pattern on it. This was also about 2000. Okay, that was about my guess. And then I was really eager to start another project, and so I just bought whatever was in the store of the color I needed, and I wanted 16, but they only had 18. So I'm doing a lot of 18 count right now. But this looks very nice as a 16 count. I like it. Okay. Oh, I don't think I can see this whole caption. I might need to open, but oh, this is Joe. I see the signature. See, there we go. This is so good. I think I've seen this in like the design somewhere, but not as a cross stitch. And this is such a good cross stitch design. Like I was talking earlier today about how fun cross stitch is when it has like a kind of snarky phrase on it. This is so good. I love the Hungry Caterpillar. The like larger region that I live in, one of the more famous museums in this area is the Eric Carle Museum, which I have yet to go to. They definitely do a lot of like toddler oriented programming, but I think the museum itself is like fun for adults, and I keep meaning to go. And I also bet that their gift shop is incredible. I'm also just noticing that this is on like a navy blue Aida fabric, and that was a really nice choice. I think that makes it really pop really nicely. I like that a lot. And this was by Thimbly on Etsy. Oh, and we have a good clarification here for folks who interpret this as an endorsement of class-based violence. Joe would like to clarify that it is meant only in the wealth redistribution sense. That is Joe's clarification there. But a wonderful pattern nonetheless. Big fan. Oh, this is now I'm forgetting. Was it Allison who was doing this? The olive tea in wool and linen. Oh, sorry, I'm looking at the other screen. Wait, this is beautiful. The wool and linen is like, because it gives it almost, at least in the photo, like the slight heathered look to it, which I love. I'm a big fan of anything that's like heathered or tweed kind of. Wow. And it's an interesting sort of like shoulder sleeve collar area, like with the different stitches happening there. I'll be really interested to see this when it is fully done. This is sort of like more intricate than I was expecting. This is really cool. Wow. Oh, that's so cool to see, because I don't think I was picturing it correctly at all. And it is Allison. Okay, good. Yeah, amazing work, Allison. Wow, thank you for sharing. Oh, and this is the basket weave. Nice. Oh, I also think I didn't quite understand basket weave, and it surely looks exactly like like a basket weave. This is a great color orange. Very good orange. Oh, this will be a fun sweater. So good for some leaf peeping in the fall. This is going to be fantastic. I like that basket weave. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm really into those. Dandelions! Wow! Okay, so, Melby says I'll never accurately guess how many dandelions it takes to get the amount needed for the recipe I use. Do you have a count of the dandelions you've done so far? Because I know it takes so many. Like, do you have a rough idea of how many you have done so far, or you've, like, harvested to set aside? A dandelion soup. I think I kept saying syrup. Is it soup or syrup? No idea. Fair enough. Deoxyribo, you totally should have. Not quite too late if you're quick. Honestly, my main experience with how to make dandelion wine is literally from Ray Bradbury's book, Dandelion Wine, so I don't know too much. But I do know that it just takes a million of them for a very small output of the wine or the syrup or whatever it is that you're making. That's so cool to see a peek at that process. House of Book Dragons by the Stitch Crypt. Who was this from? If you want to say, you don't have to say either. But oh, okay. I have saved so many patterns that are kind of like this. Like it's like a bookshelf, and it is inside of like a house structure. Oh, it's Sarah. I'm excited to see that. Okay, because basically, I've like bookmarked so many of them, and then I keep thinking that there may be AI. A lot of the ones that I have found. So please do share. Oh, you said the Stitch Crypt. Okay, I'm gonna look up the Stitch Crypt right now because I just keep finding. Oh, you can see me looking it up. Cool. I just keep finding ones that are kind of similar vibe to this, and I so desperately want to do them, and then it looks like it's kind of AI slop in the pattern. This one does not look like that at all, both based on your success in doing it and just kind of looking at it. Oh, it's so fun. I like the Beauty and the Beast kind of rose in there. Oh, and once again, the wonderful, like, sort of tie-dyed fabric. I don't know if that's the correct term for it. That's what I always call it. That's so cool to know that that's also your local store that does it. Oh, I think that's... Okay, that's it so far. Let me do a quick refresh here. Okay. Well, thank you all so much for your show and tell. Hand-dyed. Okay, that's the fabric is called hand-dyed, not tie-dyed. But I love it. Yeah, the skull on the bottom was very good. Oh, it's always so cool to see everything that everyone's working on, and also to learn these new designers that we can all then go look up. Do you do it by weight? That would be smart. Melby's making dandelion syrup purely on vibes. Also, before I go, Melby, do we have an update on the game? On the hockey game? Thank you all again for your show and tells. It's always so fun when we do that. We'll do it again in a little bit. For now, I'm going to try to maybe look up someone to raid, perhaps. Sarah, I like how you phrased, I've known people who can do that about vibes cooking, because I feel similarly, where I'm just like, yeah, I am aware that some people do that, but couldn't be me. I guess some recipes that I've done long enough that I've kind of innovated on, I do a little bit of vibes cooking on those, but I'm a pretty strong recipe guy. Okay, PWHL's gone into overtime every time. Thanks so much for the follow. Follows are anonymous, but if you want to say hi, you're welcome to pop into the chat and say hi, or feel free to just keep on lurking anonymously. That's usually my vibe. Hi, Creative Chaos by V. Thanks so much for the follow. We are unfortunately just wrapping up right now. We're gonna find someone to raid, and I'm gonna go rest because I'm recovering from being sick for like a month. Am I around on Memorial Day? Fantastic question, Joe. I was intending to. However, we might be going out on some kind of outing for Memorial Day, and I don't know if I'll be back in time. So I will update on my social media, which is up in the upper left corner in a minute. It flashes by, but I'll also just put it in the chat. Does that do anything? Yes. Okay, so Instagram is where I usually will update if I have a last minute change to my stream schedule. And I try to put something on Twitch stories too, if that happens. Yeah, intention was originally to stream next week, but we gotta kind of see how things play out. There's been a lot of abrupt changes to scheduling since the illness has hit. So we're just kind of running with it and making a lot of changes as we go. Montreal scored! Okay, exciting. I'm gonna have to check out the game at some point tonight, or at least look up the scores. Okay, who do we wanna raid? Have we raided the Crafty Cat before? I slightly feel like we have. Casey Snow's doing some drawing, and Tuna Basil's doing some spinning, which is always fun. Nice shrug, guy, Joe. But yes, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. PWHL streaming free on YouTube. Thanks for that. Well, we could all raid over to the hockey game. I think we may... Yeah, the Crafty Cat as a name is not seeming familiar, but as a person is. Maybe we'll raid them, and then we'll find out. No one tell on me that I don't remember, okay? In case they remember me. But they're doing some cross-stitching of a fun duck. Or a goose? Definitely a goose. Thank you, Deoxyribo. Thank you so much for everyone for your kind words today and all of your support. Yeah, I feel like we rarely raid a fellow cross-stitcher, so let's definitely raid this cross-stitcher here. Gonna get that set up. Sarah, I hope you stay safe with the tornado tonight. Oh, come on, here. It's very lovely spending the evening with all of you as well. Even when I'm tired, I was like, but I wanna check in on everyone and spend this time with you. Okay, but with all that said, thank you all so much. Check Instagram or Twitch stories for next week as we get closer. If I don't see you then, I'll see you the week after. And we're gonna go to another kind of like cozy, low energy cross-stitch stream with the Crafty Cat. I forgot to come up with a raid message. Too late now. So, whatever you want to say if you're coming along for the raid. And I'll see you all in a week or two. Have a great week either way. Bye, folks.